All right, before we get into today's video, I want to show you a clear case of flop watch psychosis, a condition where you have flop watched so long, it's the only thing you are capable of doing anymore. It's either that or media grifting, one or the other. So we have heel versus babyface here, right? So we have this Supergirl video here. It's over, catastrophic box office, and you're like, all right, he's said enough. Oh, but he has not. He has not. Super queer, super crash out, super flop. He's not stopped here. Supergirl review, Supergirl preview night disaster, Supergirl Nightmare Friday box office, Supergirl meltdown continues, Supergirl catastrophic weekend. Wow. So wait, somehow the Supergirl box office got even worse. Objection, reacting to film threat, Millie Alcock strikes back at toxic fans. Minions stomp all over Supergirl. Supergirl falls apart. Supergirl drops back below 100 million. This is flop watch psychosis. Literally, this is the only thing you're capable of doing is talking about Supergirl's flopping. Like, there's no actual discourse here. It's like, I'm looking at the numbers. I'm going to talk about how bad the numbers are 20 times. Like, you're going to be doing this. The Odyssey comes out. The Odyssey beat Supergirl. Spider-Man beat Supergirl. Like, come on. We know the movie's not doing good. This is really sad. Hopefully this pays your rent for the month. Let's get into today's video. Let's watch a little Ryan Kinel, shall we? The Odyssey backlash gets worse after woke black Helen of Troy slams source material. So obviously he is reading from the Geeks and Gamers human centipede of a website where they write the stories themselves and then they read the stories online and pretend they're reading them from an unbiased source so they can just regurgitate this stuff all over you. You never know with Geeks and Gamers website if they're going to give you a real quote, a fake quote. We have no idea. Let's see what he has to say.
As the social media embargo lifts for Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey about a week and a half before its official premiere, we've seen the critics all saying the exact same things. How incredibly epic, how fantastic, just a complete and total triumph. It's pretty much exactly what most people expected from the critics for this movie. But unfortunately for this movie, there's other people other than the critics who aren't feeling so hot about it right now. Because the backlash continues to grow from the general populace.
Okay, so I need to see actual proof of this. I don't need to see replies on Twitter from faceless accounts. I don't need to see dislike ratios from a fake API. I need to see materially how the general public is pushing back against this movie. That would be something like low pre-sales, low projected box office opening weekends. I would need those things to reflect that because those are real. And the culture war online shit is not. Because if you remember all of the issues they had with Millie Alcock and Supergirl, none of that had anything to do with why the movie was not well received. But let's continue.
Over this movie. We talked about a few days ago the trailer coming out and it getting brutally ratioed. Well, that has continued to get worse for not only the trailer, but also for the movie in general.
Right, so these idiots, these dumb fucks, still keep pushing this narrative that this YouTube dislike counter, there's like 20 of them that you can get, that this YouTube dislike counter is giving accurate information. We have plenty of videos. Matter of fact, Birdman just made a video on this the other day. Go and check it out on his channel. You can do the same test yourself. The dislike button add-on for Chrome is not accurate. It's not real. It is a fake metric that only gets used in situations like this. That's the only time it's ever even brought up, is to do something like this. It serves no purpose. The actual use, I'm going to do a little side argument here. The actual use of the dislike button was supposed to be so that people could see, like if you go to a video about, fixing something in your house, you could see that a 5-minute video with more dislikes than likes probably means you shouldn't watch it because it's not going to give you the information you need. Or it's somebody providing some sort of bullshit, or it's clickbait or something like that. That was the usage of the dislike button until it got weaponized by online trolls, and then YouTube decided to remove it. So it's fake. It's not real. And this headline here says the Odyssey dislikes explode to over 500,000 as film's official X account disables replies. Let's see where they go with it. Hopefully they're not talking about YouTube videos, because the YouTube API hasn't existed for like half a decade.
As a few castings have really rubbed people the wrong way, and understandably so. When you're adapting a Greek epic like the Odyssey, and you shove people in this that really don't belong, like a
so black people don't belong. Black people don't belong. Where are the Greek people? Where, like, I would really love for you to advocate for Greek representation and not white representation, because white representation is all surface level. It's all bullshit. It's no different than a black person being in it. The white people in this movie are not Greek, just like the black people in this movie are not Greek. But that's not what you're arguing about. You're arguing about the skin color. That's what makes this argument so fucking racist.
Way, and understandably so. When you're adapting a Greek epic like the Odyssey, and you shove people in this that really don't belong, like a black Helen of Troy, when it seems like you might be using some very modern translations of the Odyssey to adapt this, including one that's very, very...
Right. It is a modern adaptation of the Odyssey. I don't know why it's so hard for you dumb fucks to understand that, why it's not processing in your mind, why you're not getting it in your head. It is a modern adaptation of the Odyssey, meaning that whatever fucking criteria, antiquated bullshit criteria you have for the movie doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. The movie isn't pretending to be something that it's not. Nolan himself, the director of the movie, has came out and said that this is a modern adaptation. So I don't really know what the issue is. If you don't like it, don't go watch it. Racist people aren't forced to go to see movies.
Controversial. And then when one of the actresses who's the point of contention when it comes to so many of these problems,
because she's
black Helen of Troy actress Lupita Nyong'o, and she opens her mouth to disrespect the source material.
Oh no, what will we do? Oh my God, what would Homer think? Is he upset? Is Homer upset? My gosh, she disrespected the source material. Holy shit. Will the world keep spinning? Should I call people? Who should I call to let them know that Lupita said some stuff that might be disrespectful to the source material? Who am I calling? Can I report this to somebody? Is it a hate crime? I'm not really sure what we're supposed to do with that, other than make culture war slop videos.
These are all things that continue to drive negative attention for the Odyssey. The Odyssey dislikes explode to over 500,000 as the film's official X account disables replies. And that is all true. As we look at the Odyssey now.
So it is the fake bullshit YouTube counter. This is so soft, man. Like, this is weak shit. It is so exhausting that the echo chamber that these guys have established around them needs to constantly be patted on the back with a fake dislike counter. Do you even understand how pathetic that is? That y'all need to be coddled and hugged. Oh my God. Thank goodness the trailer is getting disliked. Thank God. So my racist bias can be confirmed. Oh no, there's a black Helen of Troy. Thank goodness there's a dislike button that I can go to confirm my outrage. What would I do without this fake dislike button?
It is over 500,000 dislikes, closing in on 600,000 dislikes.
And that makes sense to you. Realistically, you think that's real?
To 66,000 likes. It's getting destroyed. We went through so many of the comments the other day. The comment section is still a minefield, but at least they have left the YouTube comment section open. The same can't be said for the Odyssey's official social media accounts.
Right.
Where, as you can see, on every post now, they are limiting or disabling or hiding replies. You see this in 2 weeks, the epic arrives. Experience Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey in theaters. And you can see that I can't reply. Only some accounts can reply.
Right. They're doing this because y'all are pieces of shit. Right? That's why they're doing it. Imagine me. I'm a business owner and I'm putting an ad out for my business, and I've hired a black person in my shop, and we're trying to advertise to real people that legitimately want to come in and enjoy whatever we're serving. And a bunch of internet trolls, a bunch of idiots want to leave like N-word slurs and negative comments and things like that under my ad. I'm going to be like, well, I'm going to turn off replies. Because you're not adding anything to the conversation. All you're doing is culture war shit. They don't even want to deal with that. And I don't blame them. They have every right to lock their replies. I'm a big advocate of protecting your space, however you want to do it. I'm a little different. I typically let things go for a bit until it gets a little bit too personal with other people. With me, say whatever you want. I'm the kind of person where I'm like, if you want to make yourself look stupid as fuck, go right ahead. But these guys, they don't want to deal with it, and they have every right to lock their accounts.
For some reason. And of course, if we go, I'm sure that there's hidden replies here. Here are the things that they hid. The face that made it.
Yeah, so we're going to skip over all the Twitter stuff. I'm not going to sit here and watch him read hateful, negative slurs and things like that. We're not going to do. Yeah, I'm not going to watch him read masturbation material.
Has been Helen of Troy, the face that launched 1,000 ships, a character that is described in the Odyssey and is absolutely not black, who is race swapped for this movie.
Right. Also Greek. So it's not like she was just a white woman. She was a Greek woman and had divine parentage. But besides that, the skin color wasn't the defining factor of this person, of this mythological figure. She was Greek, not just white.
That's been a huge point of negativity. Well, Lupita Nyong'o responded over a month ago, saying about the casting backlash, it's a mythological story. We can take free reign to do this and do that. It is, but you know what it is? It's fucking Greek. It is
wonderful. So you understand it's Greek, but you're still not advocating for Greek actors, just white ones. I mean, it doesn't get any more racist than this. Quite literally, it doesn't. If you're going to advocate for the fidelity of the original source material and ignore the fact that all of the white people in the movie are not Greek, and you're just mad about the black people or the trans person, then that's racist and transphobic. It's quite simply all that is. It's really mask off.
It's a Greek epic, not a fucking African tale.
Oh, right? So there's more racism. It's not an African tale. Wow. Interesting. These are the same people that are joking about turning Black Panther white. Because why not? Why not? That's the mentality of these guys.
If we took some African fucking story, some African mythology, and demanded that we shove white people in there for representation, it wouldn't make much sense. Same thing.
Well, it's the same thing here because they're taking a Greek story and shoving non-Greek people in it. But you keep skipping over that. It's a Greek story, but in your mind, Greek is just interchangeable with white. It's kind of crazy.
About some Chinese mythology. Wouldn't make much sense.
Right? So let's make an equivalent here. We're going to do this the way he's doing it. Say, for example, we have a Chinese mythological tale, and they cast a bunch of people who are Asian, but not Chinese, to be in the movie. And they cast one person in that movie who is a black person, and then you only complain about the one black person. You don't complain about the fact that there's no actual Chinese people in it. Just because they're all Asian people to you, that's fine. But if it's one black person, that makes it a problem. It's the same thing that's happening here. We have a bunch of people where you're defining them, you're defining their actual story by the color of their skin and not their actual ethnic background. That's the correct comparison. You keep going back to skin color. It's really fucking crazy. Y'all are just awful. Just absolutely fucking awful.
It comes to European history. Oh, well, then it's up for grabs. It's up for modern representation. Go fuck.
So give an example. Like, if you're so upset and butthurt about it, give an example of it happening in one of your hypotheticals. You created hypotheticals and then you got mad about the fact that it was happening to this story. As if it hasn't happened before. We've had other mythological stories from around the world where people have been replaced by people from other races or other ethnic backgrounds or other skin colors. It has happened. I know it's hard to believe, Maybe people with racist brains can't comprehend things, but it's happened before.
Fuck yourself. And now we have a big problem because Lupita Nyong'o in some interviews is saying some absolutely retarded shit.
Oh,
so when
Arsler.
asked if you had the ability to ask Homer a single question, what would you ask?
I'd be like, so Homer, how do you feel about the screen time given to these women, considering how little you spend with them? Okay.
And then do you lean forward and look at him like that?
Yes, like, remember us?
So
So you're upset about a little tongue-in-cheek like media spot. It's just typical from these guys. So this is going to make the movie bad. That this media spot here is going to make the movie bad. Pack it up, we're done. Because she said she would ask Homer about women and screen time. Clearly making a joke because she used screen time. God, y'all are so offended. You talk about us being offended and needing safe spaces, but every time I watch one of these videos, I'm just reminded about how much you can't deal with the real world unless you're being coddled. It's quite telling.
Given an opportunity, when you are the face, not the face that launched 1,000 ships, but the face that launched 1,000 Crips, Helen of Detroit.
Right, more racism, outright, blatant, disgusting racism from piece of garbage people. Got it.
When you are the face of so much of this backlash, you have an opportunity now to simply shut the fuck up or
Again, women need to shut the fuck up. Doesn't matter. White woman, black woman, hot woman, whatever. Like, just shut the fuck up. These guys don't want to hear women say it. Like, if you're a woman and you have any opinion that is other than the opinion of the men that are objectifying you, then you need to shut the fuck up. That is the... Every time I watch these videos, and I watch a lot of them, that seems to be the going trend, is that if you don't agree with what these guys want you to do, you need to shut the fuck up.
heaven forbid, respect the source material, right?
How about this? Fuck source material. Fuck source material. Fuck tradition. I really don't give a fuck. Your idea of respecting the source material falls apart when you're allowing non-Greek people to be in the movie without pushback. It's performative as shit. It's like Viagra for social outrage.
Respect the source material of this thing that you're adapting, this thing that has lasted thousands of years, this thing that has persevered for centuries and still...
And this interview is going to kill it all. This is so fucking stupid, man. It's so fucking stupid.
been relevant today.
The sis is big mad that she's making a joke about what she would say to Homer. Big mad. Upset. So mad saying racist shit about her. That's crazy.
But instead, you say, why didn't you give enough screen time to these women, Homer?
Oh, I love the AAVE type vibes. Love it. Love it. I ask, like, how does YouTube, like, let this stuff exist on their platform? Like, legitimately. Is it the terms of service is just a suggestion, I guess?
And then imply that he's gay. And of course, this is somebody who we know so little about. And there's theories that it's not even one person, it's multiple.
Right. So now you're offended on behalf of Homer because she said that he was gay, considering you guys slander gay people every day. Like, miss me with the fake outrage.
Multiple people, like all these things surrounding Homer. And you are going to disrespect the source material.
Right.
That's what you're going to do in this moment. You're going to make it fucking worse for yourself.
Right.
And then in a completely different interview, and again, when people are...
I love flop watching. That's why I brought it up earlier. Flop watching is so fun. Going around to cherry-picked interview spots and going, look, this is why this thing is so bad. I'm going to check in a second and see if the movie is doing well in reality. In the real world that we live in, I want to see if it's doing well, or if it's actually suffering the way these culture warriors are fucking saying.
Worried about them possibly using Emily Wilson's translation, right? This modern feminized version of the Odyssey that a lot of people have problems with. There's been
wonderful. Then don't watch it. Again, this isn't a bait and switch thing where they lied to you about the movie was what it was going to be. Like, we've known this. It's been this from the beginning.
Speculation that Christopher Nolan heavily relied on that for this adaptation. When you hear shit like this from a lead actress, it becomes more of a problem.
When you read the Iliad and the Odyssey, very little time is spent in the perspective of the women. Right. It's told from a very masculine side of things.
Okay, I'm waiting for the shoe to drop because she's not lying. Like, this is true. This is just reality. So what is the shoe drop here?
But this film takes time to really consider things from the female perspective. And so we see in Helen and Clytemnestra how this war has affected them both.
And she is playing two characters in this, by the way. Helen of Troy and her sister, Clytemnestra, who I don't believe they're supposed to be twins. I think they're just supposed to be sisters, but she's playing both roles.
Well, we've already established that this movie is not a one-for-one rendition of the Odyssey. So right there, you've already explained to yourself that this isn't supposed to be like the actual OG translations of the Odyssey. You just said it out loud.
Right.
And they respond to it very differently because their experience of it is very different. And so for me, that was very enriching to take the time to kind of like humanize them and consider what
are you going to say about this?
Like for them.
Okay.
Never mind that Athena is such a driving force, a Greek goddess, a feminine goddess, is such a driving force throughout all of the Odyssey. Never mind all those things. But these are the things that are wrong with the source material. So we had to...
Did she say there was anything wrong with it? Did she say there was anything wrong with it in the interview? I love when you put words in people's mouths. If you're going to be mad about something she said, steel man her position. Like, steel man what she actually said. Because when you have to build a straw man to argue against, and that is the only thing you're arguing against, it makes you look really weak.
Fix that in this movie. These things are stacking up. Now, I have said time and time again, I'm not surprised the critics are raving about the Odyssey in the first reactions. Exactly what I expected. Okay. And look, Christopher Nolan...
So in other words, one of the points here is that critics like it. So in reality, they're saying it's really good. And whether it surprises you or doesn't surprise you, I don't really give a fuck. It pushes back against your narrative of this movie being a disaster. So I'm waiting for you to give actual examples of material damages that this movie is experiencing because of something that Lupita said or did. You showed 2 cherry-picked clips and strawmanned a lot of what she was saying, didn't show how those clips are negatively affecting the movie. You're just saying it is. You talked about a dislike ratio, which we know is fake. You talked about her disrespecting the source material. Who gives a fuck? Furthermore, it's also not, it's a modern rendition of the Odyssey already. You've also talked about how black people shouldn't be in it because of the fidelity of the source material, but failed to mention there's no Greek people in any of the big roles. So I'm still waiting for you to explain to me. We are almost 8 minutes into a 10-minute video, and this video title is "The Backlash Gets Worse and Woke After Helen of Troy Slams Source Material." So what is the backlash from what she said, from what she did? Because you mix the two things up here. The backlash would have been on the post from the ad that you showed earlier, where they cut off the comments, right? That would be the backlash. There's been no material backlash from what she said that you've showed. Now, is there something out there on Twitter? Absolutely. Twitter is a piece of shit. But you're not even doing that. You're not even reading comments about that. You jump back to the article.
Has never had like a box office flop. When you look at Tenet, that obviously was released, like it was demanded to be released while COVID was still highly affecting theaters and things like that. So it's tough to like put Tenet aside. Everything else, Christopher Nolan hasn't had like a financial failure, a financial flop.
Right.
And it's hard for me to believe that and predict that this is going to be the first one.
Well, the thing is, you're still flop watching it. Whether it actually so the thing about a flop watch is it doesn't mean the thing has to flop. It just means you want it to. Like Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers has said that he wants this to flop. You obviously don't want it to do well. A lot of people in your space don't want it to do well. That is flop watching. You are flop watching the movie. Whether you believe it is going to flop or not, you would like for it to flop because you want to stick it to the black people who think, how dare they be in a movie they shouldn't be in?
However, you can't ignore this backlash. This backlash
What
is
backlash?
real, and there's a lot of...
What backlash? Is it real? The fake dislike counter? That's not real. You didn't show any backlash on the 2 clips that Steph posted. You didn't show, like, the only thing you showed was like the hidden replies on Twitter to the ad. And even that's probably fake people. It's probably just trolls. You need to show material damages for the movie, things that it's experiencing that are actually going to affect the movie that aren't culture war related.
I don't think that it's going to be enough to make this movie fail financially. But this is a movie that Universal 100% expected to get $1 billion out of, no doubt.
Okay.
$250 million budget, Chris Nolan, huge star-studded cast, the Odyssey of all things. They 1,000% expected $1 billion out of this.
Even though you have no proof of that. You're just saying it. Let's continue.
If this thing makes 775, 800 million, that should be viewed as a financial disappointment. Maybe not a flop or a failure because it technically wouldn't have lost money, but it would be considered a financial disappointment.
Okay, so there you go. That's the established goalposts here for Ryan Kinel. If this movie doesn't clear 800 million, he's not going to call it a flop, even though he's on Flop Watch. A financial disappointment is what he would call it. That's where he's at. So he's placed his bets now. 800 million is his high end. So we'll see how the movie does. We'll see if he's going to celebrate or not.
I don't know how the general audience is going to feel about this. This feels...
Well, isn't that what this whole video is about then? Well, then who the fuck are we talking about? The over 500,000 dislikes? That's not the general audience? The comments under the ad, that's not the general audience? Then who the fuck are you talking about? If the backlash isn't coming from the general audience, then what difference does it make? What a dumb fucking statement.
like it is escaped and is now in the zeitgeist, and a lot of different people are talking about this. I also think there's a chance that the movie itself is good, is like a pretty good movie, but there's just a lot of negativity focused on the castings like that.
So why can't you just, this is the one thing, like you guys always ask me if I could talk to these guys, what would I ask them? Why can't you just go and watch the movie and see if you like it or not? Like, why is this what you're hyper fixated on? I mean, I know the answer to it, but I would love to hear him say it. Right? Because he doesn't really care about the fidelity of this film. He doesn't care about the fidelity of this movie. If he did, he'd be advocating for Greek people to be more prevalent in the casting of the movie, but he's not. He just wants white people in it. And the only people he doesn't like in the movie are the trans people and the black people. Those are the ones and the fact they're women too. Like if it's a woman, black and a woman, and in a lead role, and doing interviews where you're speaking your mind, that is the quadfecta. Is that quad? Trifecta quad? Whatever it is what they love, right? So I'd love to ask them, why can't you just go and see if you like the movie first? I got the numbers over here. I'm going to read these out to you guys of where the movie stands right now. You got the IMAX 70 millimeter opening weekend ticket sales selling out within 12 hours. The wider IMAX/PLF pre-sales caused ticketing queues. The film made $3.4 million from 150,000 pre-sale tickets within the first 24 hours, the highest pre-sale gross in 4 years. It continues on that the film's first day PLF pre-sales were reportedly AMC's best for a major studio release since 2022. BFI IMAX sold 28,000 pre-sale tickets in 24 hours, earning around $1 million, more than double that venue's previous record and above Oppenheimer's comparable first day numbers. Deadline's projection has the Odyssey opening around 80 million to 100 million domestic, tracking slightly ahead of Oppenheimer among men over 25, and tied overall with Project Hail Mary, which opened 80.5 million in 2026. Also, just to say it, YouTube dislike button isn't a real thing. It's not real. Check out Birdman's video on it. He breaks it down in a great way. I've mentioned it so many times. It's such a weak argument. So just nothing that we're seeing in this article or anything that Ryan is talking about is you can't materially measure it. So that falls into culture war slop, culture war outrage, flop watch material. That's all it is. And then there's the coping where, oh, well, they actually want to make $1 billion for sure, even though I don't have any proof of it. That's definitely what they want to make. 800 million or less, and that's considered a financial disappointment. Like, it's just nothing in reality is pointing towards it having a flop opening weekend. I know they really would like for it to be, but it's not. And they won't even say it because they know it sounds so absurd. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below. I think it's all just nonsense flop watching. But give me your thoughts and opinions. Make sure you sub to the channel. We're trying to reach 10K by the end of this year. I'd like to reach it sooner, but 10K by the end of this year would be great. We are coming up on 9,000 subscribers. I would love to reach 10,000 definitely by the end of the year, but before the end of the year. So make sure you're subbed. If you're watching and you're not, I've looked at the numbers. A lot of y'all are watching and you're not subbed to the channel. It helps smaller channels like mine grow and get pushed out into the algorithm. That's it. I'll catch you guys later.